Welcome to Mary's Stitching Corner. My name is Mary and this is my channel about cross stitch. Welcome. Welcome to the new subscribers that I have. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you continue to like what you see. Please hit like, leave comments. I'd love to hear from you. To anybody stopping by and just checking the video out, I hope you like what you see, and I'd appreciate if you hit subscribe and like. And to all my lovely returning viewers, thank you for coming back each time and for the lovely comments that you leave. So it's been about a month since my last video, and I hope things have been good for you during that month. I hope you've had lots of time to stitch and that you're well. So today I have some finishes to show you, and I have some starts and finishes. New starts. I'm looking at my notes. We can talk about my Wipgo progress for June, which I've completed, and we can talk about the upcoming Wipgo for July. I'll show you my WIPS, talk about plans. I've got some haul, and talk a little bit about books, and then give you an update on life at the end. So let's get going. I didn't look up to see what number this was. I don't, maybe number 25 or 26, but I can't remember. So let's get going, and we will start with my finishes. So I have two finishes. And the first one is Halloween Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. And I loved every minute of stitching on this. I think it's so cute. So this was stitched on 18 count tan by Fabric Flair using the DMC alternative. And yeah, I just loved it. It stitched up very fast, and now it's got me addicted. So now I want to do all of the tiny towns. And you know I love to stitch Halloween, so that was really fun. And I stitched it 2 over 1. My next finish is by Prairie Schooler, and it is another Halloween piece, When Witches Go Riding. And this was really fun too. I love this fabric. I just thought it was perfect for this. So this is 32 count Lagana from Be Stitch Me, called Boneyard. And I used the call for DMC and stitched it 2 over 2. So I was very excited to get that one done. It was quite stitch intensive at the top and at the bottom. So up here and down here, that took quite a long time, but I'm thrilled with it. So then I had 2 starts and finishes since I saw you. I started my patriotic stitching. So this is from Waxing Moon Designs, and it's called Preserving Liberty. And this is stitched on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha using the called for floss, which was it was over dyed floss. I can't remember the name of it. It will come to me. classic color works. And yeah, I really like it. I had to substitute a couple of colors because I didn't have them. I think one of the greens in the trees. But yeah, I really like how it turned out. And this again is a very quick stitch. I've been using these smaller ones as my morning stitch. When I finish one, I start another one. So I'm going to probably finish this into a pillow. And another patriotic one. This is, it's called Liberty Notes by Shepherd's Bush. I love this. It's so tiny. Just teeny tiny. This is stitched on 32 count. Let me look and see what it is. Macchiato by Be Stitch Me. 32 count Lagana. And I just used the DMC conversion for this. And I loved every minute of it. I just love how petite it is. And I added the buttons. I got the button pack from Shepherd's Bush when I was there. So I'm thrilled with that. And I showed last time I have a whole bunch of these Shepherd's Bush notes. So the two I have kitted up to start next are summer notes and stitching notes. And I've got the button packs for those. So this was very quick. And I'm gonna stitch not all of them, but a lot of them on this because I really like this fabric. And there's plenty of room. There's so much room to put a bunch of them on here. So those were my finishes and my starts and finishes, but I did finish a big one, Spring Quaker. I finished that one and I have a picture of it because I sent it to the framer. I took 4 pieces to the framer yesterday and I am so excited to get these done. So this is Spring Quaker. And I am thrilled with how it looks, even though I struggled at the end because I was off a row. And over here, I had to kind of move things around and squish things together to make it work, but ultimately it looked fantastic when it was done. So I took this to the framer yesterday. I went to Hobby Lobby and I can show you kind of a preview of what I'm getting done. So for Spring Quaker, this is the frame that I'm choosing. And I also took black vintage sampler, and this is the frame I'm choosing for that. I hope you can see that okay. The reflection is quite bad. I also took All Creatures Great and Small by Barbara Anna, and this is the frame I'm choosing for that. And A Perfect World And this is the frame I'm choosing for that. So hopefully you can see that okay. So I'm very excited. I had some birthday money and I decided that's what I was going to do. And I know this is a controversial subject, but I chose to go with no matting and no glass. First of all, to bring the cost down. And secondly, because I actually like the no glass look, because you can see the texture, you just can see it more clearly. And I know you want to protect it from dust and everything, but that's what I decided to do, and it was significantly cheaper because of that. And so they'll be ready around July 10th. So next time I film, I will have these back, and I'm so excited to show you. And since it was so much more reasonable than I expected, when I pick these ones up, I'll drop another couple off and just continue to do that until I've got my bigger pieces framed. I have so many, and some of them are from years and years ago. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. So those are my finishes and my starts and finishes. So I have 3 new starts, because when I finish one, I start one. And let me show you those. So this one I started, I don't even know if I showed you this. I'm not sure I did. Okay, so this is part of my haul and also a new start. My daughter's best friend is having a birthday next month, and she's a big crafter, so I don't mind giving her pieces that I've made, whether it's cross-stitching or other things, because she knows and appreciates the amount of time and effort that goes into these things. And last year I gave her a design by Shannon Christine Designs, Sunflower Cottage sampler, something like that, and I made it into a pillow, and she absolutely loved it. So this year I chose this. Now she has a hobby farm, and she has like 60 chickens and pigs and donkeys and geese, and what else does she have? Turkeys. So when I saw this, I thought I have to stitch this for her. Her dad is also in the military, so the fact that it's patriotic is also a good thing. So this is Henpeck by Plum Street Samplers. And this has been such a fun stitch. I made this my morning stitch because I have to get it done within the next week, so I can then fully finish it and have time to send it to her, because she lives a few hours away, so I have to mail it to her. So this is what I've done so far. And I love how it's looking. This is being stitched on 18 Count Meadowlark by To Dye For Fabrics. And I'm stitching it 1/1 using the called for overdyed floss. Now I did change out the chicken, the white. This chicken was supposed to be stitched in parchment, which is kind of a creamy, variegated color, but it just wasn't showing up very well on the fabric. So if you look at the picture, it looks like it's done in bright white. So I just switched it to whitewash, and I'm much happier with that. So I'm more than halfway done, and so I think I'll get it done in the next few days, and I'm going to turn it into a pillow, and hopefully she will like that. I'm sure she will. She loves her animals. And since I bought that for Christmas, I decided, so this is part of my haul, but for Christmas I'm going to do Snort Stack for her by Plum Street Samplers. I think those pigs are so cute. And she has 2 pigs on her farm. So I'm going to stitch it on the same fabric. So that's my first new start. The next one is a replacement for When Witches Go Riding. Then I decided to start Lady Halloween by Jardin Privé. I've had this one for a while, so I'm excited to finally have started it. I haven't done a lot. This is what I've done so far. So this is 18 count Lavender by Fabric Flair. And I'm doing it mostly in DMC 310. So mostly in the called for colors. And there's only a few. But they call for 3. So DMC 310, a dark gray and a light gray, 317 and 318. But I had to change the light gray because it wasn't showing up. So instead of, I need my glasses. So instead of 317, is that right? No. Instead of 318, I'm going with 762, which is Pearl Gray. And that's these parts right here. But I'm also going to add in some orange, some lime green, and possibly some purple if it will show up on the fabric. So just for some splashes of color. So I'm really enjoying that. Excuse me, I have to turn my fan on. That will take a while. It's a good sized chart. 172 by 210. The other new start I have is American Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. Had this one for ages also. And I don't have a lot done. So this is being stitched on 20 count vintage country mocha using the called for floss, which is a mixture of Classic Colorworks and the Gentle Art and Weeks Dye Works, and I'm stitching 1/1. This will take a long time, but these are the colors. I'm also doing if I can find it. Oh. I'm doing my LNS conversion. And I won't be stitching all of these words down here. Instead, I'll be doing with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And this will take a long time, but I've been enjoying it so far. So those are my new starts. So in June, the Wipgo projects that were called was Autumn Town by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and This Is the Day by Plum Street Samplers. So I've made really good progress. So Autumn Town, it's a bit wrinkly. Yep, it's almost done. I just have 2 pumpkins to do over here and I am done. And this is my second oldest WIP, so I am very happy about the fact that probably within the next day or 2 I will have finished this. So this was stitched on 18 count Sage by Fabric Flare using the DMC conversion, 2 strands over 1. So this is one that I've never wanted to pull out, and I was trying to think, why do I never want to stitch it? Once I start stitching it, I enjoy it, but I was thinking this morning, and I think it's because there's so much block colors in here. I don't like that. I get bored when it's just stitching one color. Blocks of one color. So maybe that's the reason, but I love how it looks. So I am so excited to get this one done. And then the other project for June was This Is the Day, which was my birthday start last year. So I was not very happy that I hadn't made much progress. So you've seen this a lot, I'm sure. But I made really good progress this time. I finished the house. That was a big house, especially because, there's at least 5 or 6 different shades of pink. So it took a long time. And I think last time I saw you, I was like here. I had done this to about here. And then I finished this and started the sun. And now I think it will go much faster, which is a good thing, because this was called for July. So this will be one of my Wipgo projects for July. So I will be stitching a minimum of 15 hours on it. So my plan is to I'm going to stitch this row under the house, and then I'm going to come and work on the goats over here and finish this top half, and then I can come down and do all the words, which should go pretty fast. So when it was called again, actually the July numbers that were called were the exact same as June. It was This Is the Day in Autumn Town. Well, Autumn Town's going to be done before July comes, so I chose something else for that, to replace that. And I considered replacing This Is the Day because I had just worked on it last month, but I'm excited to work on it now because the house is done. So This Is a Day is for July, and then I chose to replace Autumn Town with History of Sheep by Jardin Privé, which is 4 different charts, and when they're all stitched together, it will look like this. And this is one that stitches up quite quickly, so that's why I chose this one, because I think I can make significant progress. This was my new year, new start this year. So I'm on the 3rd chart, which will take me right over here. So since last time I've been stitching on this area here. And I probably will finish chart number 3 with the 15 hours I'll be doing in July. So that will be done. And then I'll just have the last section over here. So I'm excited about it. This is 20 count vintage country mocha using the called for DMC 1/1. So now I'll show you, I touched almost all of my WIPS again, but because of the challenges that I take part in. But I'm only showing you the ones that I've made decent progress on. So this is Winter Cottage by Lucy Heaton. I started this in January. I'm using the code for DMC. And this is 18 count Tiny Neutral Snowflake by Fabric Flare. And since last time I've been working over here. And I'm anxious to get up to the house where it's not just branches and things, but I think it's looking really good. I still have a lot of trees. So once I come up here, be working on all of this, and then the house, and then I have all of this white to do over here. This one was my birthday start in May. Jardin Privé. Floral composition 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to be stitching them all together, and this is what it will look like when it's done. And I started up here in this corner. I haven't made a lot of progress on it, but it's looking really cute, I think. So this is 18 count white Ada. And not a ton of progress, but I love the colors in this one. So I've just been pulling this one out when there's a challenge that it meets, which is what I do with most of my WIPs, unless they're code by Wipgo. So the next one is Summer Quaker by Lila Studio. There's a lot of people stitching on this, and I've made a little bit of progress on this one. So I finished this motif right here, and I've been still working to finish this page in the middle. This is 18 count Aqua by Fabric Flare. And it's taking a long time. I started this a year ago, the first day of summer last year. I love how it looks. Just that middle section is so stitch intensive. But once, I think I talked about it last time, but once I finish this page in the middle section, I'm going to focus on the motifs for a while, just to give myself a break and to feel like I'm making faster progress. So I feel like I don't have more big projects than smaller ones, but it kind of feels like I do now. So it feels like progress is quite slow. This is Christmas Village Ornaments by Dimensions Gold, and I have been working on this one right here, the bakery. And I finished all of the cross stitching, and now I need to do what I don't like to do, which is go back and complete all the back stitching. I usually do it as I go, but when I pull these out for challenges, it just seems easier to work on this stitching. So I need to just set some time aside to do the back stitching, because other than that, it's done. I think it looks really, really good. Of course, the back stitching will bring it to life. And I'm using everything that was in the kit. So this is the second one. Once I finish this one, I'll start number 3. And another dimensions, Christmas, is Christmas jar ornaments. And I am working on this one. I've already done this one. So, and I am almost done with this one. And again, I've left myself the back stitching to do. I don't know what I did with, oh, here they are. So, helps if you actually clip it on. Okay, so this is the one I've been working on, and I just have this little top section to do and the back stitching. I think they look really cute, but you can see here how the back stitching just brings everything to life. I'll continue to pull it out for challenges. And lastly, for my WIPS, this is Jardin Privé Farm Quaker, or Quaker Farm. And I'm not going to pull the whole thing out, but I've been working in this section here. So I finished this motif, this cow, and started on this motif here. I still have a long ways to go, but at least I've made some progress. And this is being stitched on 18 count vintage smoky white. And I'm using DMC 115, which is a variegated floss. So that's my WIPS. Now we can look at plans. So, because I'm almost done with Autumn Town, I'm going to, when that's done, I'm going to start Autumn Village by Nara X Stitch Patterns on Etsy. And this will be the one. I'm really excited to start this one. And it's not too big. Um, 116 by 90, so it's not very big at all. And I'm going to use 32 count Nightshade by Be Stitch Me. So I'll be starting that in the next couple of days, and it's all DMC. So that will be fun. And I have my bag of patriotic that I'm working on as my morning stitch, I think. It depends. Actually, these two, I'll just fit them in somewhere because they're a little bit bigger for morning stitches. But I want to do There Dwells My Heart by Shepherd's Bush. And it comes with the buttons, the floss, and the fabric. So I'll be starting that over the next week or two. And then when I finish that, I want to start Freedom House by Little House Needleworks, which my dear friend gifted me. And I will be stitching it on this, which I can't remember what it is, but it's a 20 count. I can't even remember the dyer. So I've got those two I want to start in July. And so those are my two planned starts. And now haul. So I got some birthday money and gift cards and went a little bit crazy. I've been really good at stitching from stash most of the year, so. And I've got these in baggies because actually I've run out of project bags, which is crazy since I've got a few, but I've kitted so many things up. But Tiny Towns, the next one I'm going to do is Patriotic Tiny Town. So this will become a morning stitch probably when I finish the chickens. And I'm just doing the DMC conversion. And I think I'm going to stitch on this. This is just some 18 count Ada that I've had for a long time. I don't know what color it is. This actually might be 20 count. If it's 20 count, I won't use it, but I'm going to do it on a blue anyway, whatever I decide. So that will be started soon. So I went a bit crazy on Erin Elizabeth charts. She has all these tiered tray charts. And what I like about them is that they're really small. .65 by 85. So this could become a morning stitch at some point. So this is Halloween Tier by Erin Elizabeth. And I'm going to stitch it on Grey Magic by Stitch Me, 18 count. Using the code for DMC. Here's the colors. And then I have Summer Tier. Which I'm going to stitch on Magic. I've already started. I started something on here, but it didn't work, so. Magical Clouds by Fabric Flare. Using the code for DMC. There's lots of really bright colors. So I'd like to start this before the summer ends, but we'll have to see. And this is one I should start in July, but USA tier. And I will be stitching it on Smoky Blue by Fabric Player, 18 count, I think. And Fall Tier. And I'm going to stitch it on Bronze Age, 32 count Lugana from Be Stitch Me. So then I got I showed you last time the Halloween Terrarium by Tiny Modernist. So I loved that one so much I had to get some more. So this is Christmas Terrarium. And these are small too. 64 by 95. And I'm actually thinking of stitching it instead of black. I'm thinking of stitching it on Blue Moon by Be Stitch Me. Haven't decided for sure. And Valentine Terrarium. I haven't chosen a fabric for this one yet. And then I picked up a couple of charts at Pine Needles. And thank you, I forgot, is it Susan? Sorry if I've gotten your name wrong, but you told me that Pine Needles had expanded their cross stitch section, so I went over to check it out. And they have expanded, which is really nice. It doesn't replace the LNS that closed, but it's really nice to be able to go over there and have more choice, because they're a quilting shop basically, and they had a tiny cross stitch section, but since our local LNS closed down, they've expanded that section, which is great. So my daughter was with me and she chose these two charts, and I didn't look. These are bigger than I thought they were, but this is from Blueberry Ridge Design, and it's House on Blueberry Hill. So I don't know why I think I can look at a picture and think I can determine how big the chart is. I thought this was going to be small, but it's 133 by 96, so it's not huge, but it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. But it's so cute, and I love blue, so that will be fun. But it calls for Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, and Gentle Arts, but there is a DMC conversion. And I got this one and didn't realize, first of all, it was a market exclusive, which it was much more expensive. And also it's 226 by 163, so much bigger than I thought, but it's so cute. And this is by Blueberry Ridge Designs. So those are in my stash. I don't know when I'll start them. But I have a bunch of fabric in my cart at 1-2-3 Stitch, and then I'm done for a while, hopefully. So that's it. That's pretty much all my stitching stuff. I'll just continue to work on Wipgo, do the challenges in Whip Warriors and Stitching by the Shore. And yeah, so hopefully well, I'll talk about that in life, but my stitching is probably not going to be very productive next week. But hopefully I'll get a lot done in July. And there's a few that I think if I paid more attention to, that they would be finished. I could get them finished pretty soon. So if you're here just for the stitching, that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you'll come back next time. And now I'll talk about books and life. So last time I told you that I was reading a lot of Kevin O'Brien books. He does kind of mystery, murder, psychological thrillers. And there was a whole bunch of them available free on Audible. So I was trying to read as many as I could before they weren't free anymore. So I did finish all of them. So, and incidentally, I'm reading book number 50 for the year so far. So in June, I started one Kevin O'Brien book and I returned it. I couldn't get into it. I've read The Locked Door by Frida McFadden, which was a bit melodramatic, but I finished it. I think it was melodramatic because of the narrator, but the story was pretty good. I read Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden, Make Them Cry by Kevin O'Brien, The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden, and that was my favorite book so far of June's reading. That is a psychological thriller. It's about a family with a daughter and a son, and the son has had a lot of problems growing up. He's done some scary things throughout his life, and his mother, who feels a great connection to him, has tried to protect him and others. She's tried to protect him from getting in trouble and tried to protect others from him. And he's now 16 and he's got a lot more freedom, and it's become a lot more complicated. And a girl goes missing from his high school, and the mother believes that he has had something to do with it, and that takes you down a story of twists and turns, and I enjoyed every minute of this book. So if you like psychological thrillers, I would highly recommend that one. And then I read The Last Victim by Kevin O'Brien, Hide Your Fear by Kevin O'Brien, Dark Web by T.J. Brereton. Now that was a new author to me. And again, psychological thriller. I enjoyed it. I definitely will check out more of their books. I actually don't know if it's a male or a female author, but that was quite intriguing. And then I needed a palate cleanser after all of those heavy murder books. And this one is a murder mystery, but it's much more lighthearted. There's a series of books by Alison Brooke called The Haunted Library. It's kind of like a cozy mystery series. And this is number 4 that I'm reading because I've already read the others. Checked Out for Murder. And I'm enjoying it. It's a bit corny at times, but it's light and still has that mystery. I haven't been able to figure out who's done what, but it's much more lighthearted, so I'll probably read this one and another one in the series. There's quite a few books in the series, so, and then check out some other stuff. So if you have any recommendations for books, I always find when I finish a bunch of books by an author, I don't know where to go next. So yeah, tell me what you're reading. Sorry, my bangs are bugging me. Tell me what you're reading. I'm open to most things, and I would love to hear about what you're reading and enjoying. So that's the books for this month. And life, there's not a lot going on. We had a loss in the family, which was very, very sad. My sister-in-law, she's just a year older than I am. She was diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia about 3 years ago, and went from this very active, just bubbly, full of life person to somebody that couldn't even talk anymore. She couldn't communicate, had to quit work. Just, yeah, it just was horrible to see the decline. And up until a few months ago, she was very, very talented in many different crafts and things, but she took up oil painting about 20 years ago and was amazing. I wish I had some pictures to show you. She was incredible. And she was able to keep painting up until the last few months. And, but she collapsed a couple of weeks ago, and they had been told that she had 2 or 3 years left. She collapsed a couple of weeks ago and went into hospital for a few days, and all of her organs were starting to shut down. So they sent her home on hospice, and she passed away a few days later. It was very, very sad. And so the service was lovely. Her kids, she has 4 kids and 15 grandkids, and the kids all spoke, and the grandkids sang a song for her, and yeah, it was lovely, but just so sad. So my mother-in-law she finished rehab where she had broken her arm, and she went into a nursing home, and she's actually adjusting quite well. So the kids, like my husband and his brothers, go over multiple times a week, and she came over here on Friday for dinner and a movie, and so she's doing well, considering she's going to be 93 this year, and she's got dementia. So she gets very confused, but they're able to give her the care that she needs. So what else is going on? Yeah, my husband is taking next week off. Normally we go away, but this year we're not going anywhere. So I'm really happy that he's taking time off. It just my routine will be disrupted significantly, so I won't have as much stitching time. And also my stepson is coming up on Wednesday. He'll be up for July 4th and through that weekend. So it'll be a really busy week. And it'll be fun. It would just, be different. And but my husband desperately needs a break. he just works so hard. So I'm really thrilled for him to have a break and not have to go anywhere, and he can just relax and do what he wants. Let's see. Other than that, there's not much going on. My heart's been acting up a lot more. I've been having really long episodes of AFib, and I used to have them, they would start in the morning and they would be over by the time I went to bed at night. Now they're starting in the evening, so that it goes on all night long. And then I can't sleep. So lack of sleep is also a trigger. So I have one that keeps me up all night long, and then the lack of sleep triggers another one. And so it's not been fun. And then my dizziness has been really, really bad. I don't know why. Normally I get really bad in the beginning of spring and beginning of fall when the weather patterns are starting to change, but so it's just been a weird year. Anyway, we're dealing with it, but it's been very hot. It got very hot very fast. Spring was quite cool and cold at times. In fact, a couple of weeks ago we had a freeze warning overnight, and then within a few days it was 100 degrees. So we've been we're hovering around 100 every day, which doesn't usually happen till we're into July. So yeah, it's been hot, and we've got some storms coming through, so it's been humid. You know, Utah's very dry, but it's been very muggy the last few days because of this humidity. So we're just planning on having a family barbecue for the 4th of July. So I need to make my potato salad and get all that stuff organized. But that's all the plans we have. Pretty boring. We may go for some drives next week since Steve will be home. And he's going to start working on the entryway. My craft room is just off the entryway, so I have to clear out my craft room, which is going to be a big job. So, because once he's done painting in the entryway, he's going to paint the front door, the staircase, and then he can finish putting the flooring down, which goes into my craft room. So I have to get everything out of there. So that will keep me busy. Yeah, so that's it. Other than that, it's the same old, same old. I'm very much looking forward to picking up my framed pieces, and I'm excited to show you next time what they look like. Now, whether I'll get them hung, I don't know, because this house is still under construction or remodeling, never-ending remodeling. But I have this big wall right here. So maybe when I come back, you'll see some things hanging. Fingers crossed. Anyway, take care of yourself. I hope you have lots of time to stitch and do the things that you enjoy. And please take care of yourself. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.